Hey guys, Museman here back with another Identity 5 video. Now we're going to take a look at some more Bloody Queen gameplay. It's been a little while since I released a Bloody Queen video, so I thought I'd do one now. So yeah, let's take a look. Alright, so the first Bloody Queen match we're going to take a look at is on Ever Sleeping. So these are some of my first matches I played since Season Reset. And yeah, so since Season Reset happened, I've become a top 10 Bloody Queen and a top 100 hunter overall in the server. So mech actually ended up trying to hide their bot there, so I ended up finding it in a locker. That's Merc there, so I don't want to chase the Merc, but I got the ping where the mech was at, so I was going to chase the mech over here. She's making her way. She should have gone right to a kiting area. That wasn't a very good area for her to think about kiting out of. I can see the mech's kind of going back there. And I'm going to go ahead and just break this pallet here. And now the mechanic has to choose to transition somewhere, but that's about the time that my mirror cooldown is out. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over here. And I actually find the priestess here, so I thought I'd deal more damage. Get rid of the world portal. Let's see if I could get a hit on the priestess, but in the least I can make her waste a portal here. So yeah, there's that, and I actually end up almost losing the mechanic, but I found the footprints here, and I'm gonna keep going with my original chase, and that just ended up getting the priestess off the cipher for a little bit, and I end up downing the mechanic pretty quickly with my mirror. I actually ended up getting a phone call there, so that's why I was kind of stalled out there. And I don't know if this happens with anybody else, but once the phone call happens, my audio shuts off and I can't get audio for the rest of the game. So that's kind of what I was dealing with here. So I mean, we'll see if I end up losing any survivors or anything, but I don't think that happened. Anyways, yeah, because I couldn't hear any of them. So I was trying to rush this Gravekeeper's rescue. I guess if I would have stalled a little bit longer, I could have possibly gotten a terror shock, but you know, it's whatever. I got a nice quick hit on the mechanic here. She took out her bot, so I'm just going to go ahead and destroy that because I don't want her decoding while she's on the chair. She's just going to run in a straight line, try to stall as much time for her team as she can. And I'm just going to stick with this mechanic here because I don't want her decoding. This is a relatively slower decoding team. You got the Gravekeeper, you got the Merc. Priestess, not terrible, but... so watch what I do here. Broken mirror switch, and I get an easy hit on the Merc. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to teleport, go right to the chair. That'll give me an easy double hit. So I'm just going to double hit the Merc. And obviously the Merc is going to try to body block at this point because he's already been double hit. And the mechanic is dead on chairs. So this mechanic tries to vault away. That's when I take my opportunity to get a hit on the mechanic here. And I find the priestess also here. So what I do is I mirror over that way at the same time. Try to deal maybe a little bit of extra damage. And you see I was able to get that hit on the priestess there. So now... there's going to be a lot of healing up that has to happen in order for them to possibly win. So I'm going to go ahead, take this mechanic to the chair for the last time. I'm going to take her to the chair inside the graveyard here so I can put pressure on the priestess again. Now, being that I switched to teleport, there's not a whole lot I can do as far as that prime cipher goes. But I was able to stuff the rescue with this, so it was worth it. I'm going to go ahead and stick this priestess here. Luckily, basement was here, so this is how basement kind of carries me in the end. This could have been easily a draw match if basement was not here. So what they need to do is these rescuers need to get preferably the Gravekeeper to sit at the prime cipher and the mercenary to go for the rescue. Yep, you see the Merc's going for the rescue here, and smart. He's still got elbow pad, so he's going to be able to elbow pad his way down. But I'm able to get that jump from the height, and that was a good baited attack by the mercenary, but so I end up downing the priestess here. The Cypher Machine is prime. I tried to do a jump, but I didn't get that animation in time. So I'm right on the priestess here, but the mercenary is still in dungeon, which allows me to chase the mercenary for a little bit. And he tries to elbow pad away here, but I predict it and I'm able to get the hit. So what I'm going to do is, mercenary takes a long time to heal, so I'm going to go to priestess first. I'm going to go ahead, stick the priestess in basement. The gravekeeper is probably going to try to heal up the merc. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this priestess in basement. Here's the closest chair so that I'm able to get back up as quickly as possible. And I'm going to go right back up to the mercenary, and I'm going to take him to the basement. So I see the gravekeeper's digging, so I'm assuming he's going to try to dig through into the basement. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to face camp here. I only am going to do that because it's a gravekeeper, and he's going to be the only one that's able to go like directly through the top. Besides priestess that can go straight through the top of the dungeon and come out at the bottom. So this mercenary is here. I had no idea the gravekeeper was like that close, but I guess I could have justified teleporting to the gate. I'm gonna mirror rotate there, and I probably should have teleported here, but I had the 3-man. I was happy. So yeah, that's GG's right there. That's a 3-man. So now we're going to take a look at a match on Red Church. You can see I'm using my standard build there. I'm trying to, at times, incorporate a little bit more anti-stun when there's a stunner team, but this isn't a stunner team, so I can stick with my normal one. And this appears to be the Prospector, looks like. Yeah, so the walls in this map can be quite difficult to maneuver around, especially in the beginning. As far as mirrors go, you might not get that free movement that you need in order to get those hits in, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to break this pallet here, and my mirror cooldown is done, so I'm going to place my mirror over here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw down a patroller here, and this is just going to allow me to get a super quick down on the prospector here. So you can see my strategy varies whether I use patroller or not. And usually if I don't get the first hit with patroller, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and... if I don't get my first hit with the mirror, I'm going to use a patroller after the second mirror. But if I'm able to get a hit with the first mirror, it's usually really easy to follow up with another one after the cooldown's over. I see the bots over here, but you can see I have to work around these walls here, and not exactly working with me here. I'm just going to try to, after this, stall out the final, whatever rescue is coming. So you can see that it's becoming about half. So if this merc wants to rescue before half, he better come now. And we can see that's happening here. He ends up elbow padding past the chair. And now what I want to do is I want to rush the rescue. So you can see I'm taking swings here, but there's nothing you can do with the mercenary that keeps elbow padding. And I'm going to just make my way back around to the chair. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to... My cooldown's almost over for patroller, I believe. Maybe? Or not. I didn't even use patroller here. I end up being able to just eliminate the prospector because the merc tried stalling too long because I was waiting for that terror shock. So I'm going to double hit the merc, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to look around for wiggling ciphers, and I'm going to go right over here, and I'm going to land on the mechanic. The mechanic is the fast decoder, obviously, and the mercenary is going to be down for forever, so this just kind of helps with that cipher rush that everybody keeps talking about. So you want to get the mechanic out as quickly as possible. I found the prospector first, and in a lot of high tiers, you really kind of have to go with the hand that you're dealt with. And I see that the Gravekeeper is here, or the Gravekeeper's in the game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and place the mech on the chair, but I know the Gravekeeper's probably going to try to dig in. You can see, don't move, I'm coming. Yeah, obviously the Gravekeeper's coming here. And I'm going to try to stand right over the dungeon to try to make it so he can't just dig to underneath. And I see that he's right there. And now he can't get underneath in the dungeon. So I tried jumping down and swinging, but I was just a little bit too far behind. I'm going to just go ahead, hit the Gravekeeper, but now it's not going to be too tough for me to hit the mechanic here. Now there's one cipher remaining here. Oh, that was a good stun. There was one cipher remaining, so I also want to keep an eye out for what ciphers are wiggling so that I can stall those out. And I actually see that this one's wiggling, so I'm going to teleport over here. And this ends up being where the Gravekeeper went. And I end up downing the Gravekeeper right here. Now I heard the audio cues for the pocket watch, so I was like, I'm not going to worry about the mercenary now. I'm going to wait for that effect to end. And right now, the mercenary is the only one that could even think about going for a rescue at this point, because obviously the mechanic's not going to be able to do it. So I don't know where the bot is at right now. If the bot is even still in the game. So I kind of thought the mechanic would be going for that cipher right there, but the mechanic ends up getting healed up, so she's going to be going for the rescue at this point. So what I do here is I'm going to try to just get in her way, try to stall out that the rescue until it's just past half. We can see half just passed, but also the mechanic's dead on chair, so it's good to keep track of that. And I'm able to go ahead and down the mechanic here. The mechanic's dead on chair, so it really didn't matter which one I downed first. Actually, it was preferably the mech, because the mech's got that faster decoding. She wasn't dead on chair. Huh, I guess I was wrong. Either way, the merc's still here. And he somehow gets another elbow pad, probably opened a chest or something. And I know that Gravekeeper was going to be going for the rescue there. This merc was so lucky there. And at this point I don't have my teleport up, and I know what cipher they're going for. Oh wait, no, they're healing. They're not decoding that cipher. So, okay, being that they were healing up, they should have really been just decoding that cipher. Because it didn't matter how long they were healed up as long as they get that cipher primed. But you can see the mercenary is the same thing in mind. But at this point, the merc is going to be going down here. And now that's going to force them to pull a rescue off here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and place the merc on the chair. Now I know they're over somewhere in this area, so I'm going to work my way forward here. And watch what I do about the rescue that happens. So I end up seeing the Gravekeeper immediately. And I just figured the mechanic was going to be going after the cipher. But what happens is I'm going to hit the Gravekeeper right here. And then I'm going to mirror towards the back of the chair. I had this type of video in my guide. And that is how you stuff a rescue as a Bloody Queen. Now, obviously, mechanic also came for the rescue, so that's not quite as extreme of an effect as what it normally is on the course of the game. But the Gravekeeper is dead on chair, remember from before, and actually dead on chair this time. Actually, keep note of that now. So now I'm gonna go ahead and I don't care which one I hit. There's no way the merc's going to be able to finish that cipher. I mean, it was a nice try, but I'm going to go ahead and take the merc to the chair. Now, if the mechanic would have been decoding with them, it could have been possible for them to finish that cipher, but the mechanic left. And now I know where the mechanic's at. She's in that 2-pallet area. So I'm going to go ahead and mirror to the mechanic. And now there's really nothing that she can do at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and teleport next to the mechanic. and she makes her way over to this god palette area, but the god palette's gone, so there's really not a whole lot she has to work around. And at this point, dungeon's not there, so she's 0 for 1 dungeon spawn. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to mirror rotate here to get nice and close to the mechanic. And what happens here is it actually, the dungeon spawn graveyard. You can see around the corner, yep, there's dungeon. So I make a mental note of that and just make sure, I'm going to play defense now. Since it doesn't matter how much time it takes, I'm just going to wait for my mirror to reset, and I'm going to be able to easily get this down here on the mechanic. She's going to do some nice jukes here, but as long as I get her down, you can see it's game over. So that is a 4-man for game 2. Now we're going to take a look at round 3. This is probably, I would say probably the weirdest rank match I've ever had. So, okay. I'm just including this one merely because it shows the power of stalling out that last cipher, and I want you all to see that. But you can see we're starting off the game. The forward is opening a chest. Like, what is that? Ends up getting an elbow pad. I'm like, okay, that happened. I mean, the forward does some nice kiting, I'm not gonna lie. But it's just because he has like fast vaulting and stuff, but it's really tough to catch a forward here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and patroller this forward. And I'm gonna just walk my way back up to him. He's gonna make his way to his football that he had at the chest. So this is like a unique style of kiting that I have never seen before. He has his football now, and I'm gonna get a hit on the forward now. He's gonna start making his way to factory, and I don't really like factory, so yeah, he's gonna use his football there. He's way out of there, and he's well into factory, so I'm like, okay, I have to give up on this chase or it's going to waste too much time. And the wildling is also here. So I know any other ciphers that are wiggling, it's either the prisoner or the perfumer. Preferably I'd find the prisoner, but knowing my luck, it's probably not. Especially this game. I found the forward first and then the wildling. I was like, my goodness. So I'm just going around to all of these areas looking for where these survivors are at. And I find that a survivor's over there, so I'm going to mirror my way over there. Wildling's just following me, but I don't really care because he's wildling. He's not going to be able to decode either way. I find the prisoner here. Somehow that still was a pallet stun. I mean, nice pallet stun, I guess. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my way over this area. I'm predicting that the prisoner is just going to keep going over this way, and I end up being correct there. I end up getting short stunned by the prisoner, and I'm going to place my mirror over that way. So you can see already first set of pops are starting to come around. There are 4 ciphers remaining. I'm already in a pretty tough situation. You can see the forwards here. The forward's going to try to attempt a stun here, but I end up just hitting the forward there to get some progress down. And he's carrying other items with him, I think, so obviously this forward's not decoding. I'm able to get this prisoner down, but the forward's still here. Now, unfortunately, the obstacle got in the way, so this was a pretty ineffective mirror. So I'm going to go ahead and just... The wildling was just slightly late there. I'm going to go ahead and hit his boar once. See if I can hit the forward here, and you see that I'm able to do that. So at least now at this point I'm doing decent. Now what this wildling should have been doing was probably pushing me the other direction after the stun there. So that the... Oh, you can see that's exactly what's happening. I should have just taken the forward to the chair at this point, but I didn't want that wildling to charge at me. And right when I decide, oh hey, I'm going to go back and pick up the forward after I get this hit here. The forward gets his self-heal back up, so already I'm in a tough situation again. I still have not chaired a single survivor, and it's 2 ciphers remaining. And this forward just keeps getting kiting items. I'm like, what is happening here? I was like, where are all the... There's no mercenary in here, so it's not like he traded for gauntlets. I don't know. It was just kind of weird. So I'm like, okay, at least I got it down here. And I was seeing if I could bait a perfume out of this perfumer. Looks like I wasn't going to be able to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and take the wildling to the chair. And there's 1 cipher remaining. The cipher is nearly primed. So already I'm like, okay, this is a tough situation. But watch what I do here. I'm going to... That perfume there. I'm going to try to... I got a hit, so now I'm just able to stall that rescue out more. And I'm trying to make it so that I can stall past half by putting pressure on both these survivors attempting a rescue. And what I'm going to do is... The forward's actually here, so all the survivors are here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to abnormal here. I thought that perfume was going to be out by then, but I guess not. And I see this survivor here. The perfumer actually ends up body blocking for the prisoner. And I'm going to go ahead and... The wildling ends up body blocking again. It's like, this is such a weird game. I'm not able to get any damage because they just keep absorbing the damage for each other. I ended up getting 1 chairing on the wildling, but that's all I've got here now. Everybody's injured though, so at least there's that. Never mind, they're healing. So all they need to do is they need to pop that last cipher. I was able to down the prisoner there, so at least that's a stroke of good luck. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the wildling here. But I wanted to get the prisoner to the chair as soon as possible because I had no idea how long that cipher had left. And yeah, so this forward is just... I don't know what this forward's doing. So now everybody's injured again. But the perfumer's working on the last cipher. Somehow... I missed both the rescuer and the perfumer there. I have no idea how that happened. And it prioritized the chair. So, oh my goodness. I end up downing the wildling again. I'm going to take the wildling to the chair again. You can see the survivors are here doing insta-rescues while the perfumer tries to decode that cipher. And you can see it's about primed. But I end up abnormaling it again. And I'm like, okay, there's the wildling. Never mind, the wildling's on the boar. So the wildling kind of gets a free escape there. I'm going to try to down this perfumer here. So I'm able to down the perfumer with my mirror. I'm going to take the perfumer maybe to the chair now. Never mind. I'm going to get rid of this prisoner thing. All the survivors are still here. They're not healing. They're all only concerned about popping that last cipher, so I'm going to take advantage of this and start dishing out some damage. I'm going to take the prisoner to the chair. The perfumer doesn't have chair progress yet, so I was like, okay. I'm going to take the prisoner to the chair here. And you can see the wildling is going to rescue, but the forward's working on this cipher. And being that the perfumer wasn't able to self-heal here, I was going to try to take a swing at the forward, but I ended up whiffing. So, perfumer's going back on the chair, and I keep getting wanted order throughout all of this, so that's how I'm finding my targets so quickly. I find the forward here, I'm going to mirror rotate, and I end up finding the forward again. They're healing up in the back, so I can take some time and target the forward for a little bit. I also want to stay by this cipher so that I can abnormal it as much as possible. And now I'm going to go ahead and... I see the prisoners here, and I believe the prisoner is dead on chair at this point. So I'm like, okay, let's complete that progress first. I'm going to take the prisoner back to the chair. And now I believe the prisoner is eliminated. And, you know, obviously they're going to be going back to the same cipher like they've been doing for like the past 3 minutes. But it's so hard to pop that last cipher with the hunter patrolling it like that. And if they really wanted to, they probably could have finished that cipher there and probably could have pulled this into a draw. But I'm able to down the Wildling here, and now I'm going to take the Wildling to the chair. And that forward tried to stun me there, but that didn't work out for him. So I'm able to go ahead and dish out some damage to the forward. You can see this was just a weird game. They were doing so well until the last cipher, and they decided they really wanted to pop that cipher, which is kind of obnoxious for a Survivor team that's got accelerated decoding on. And I'm just going to go ahead and chase this Perfumer and settle for a 3-man because with that rough start, I'm happy with... I was going to be happy with a draw just so I didn't lose stars and character points for Bloody Queen. But I was like really relieved when all the survivors decided, hey, I'm only going to decode that last cipher there. And there was no reason why they couldn't have just gone to another one. But if you're a coordinated survivor team, I probably would have sent like the prisoner to another cipher, maybe decode it remotely or whatever. But there were some ways that the survivor team could have better executed that. But yeah, I hope that shows the power of stalling at the last cipher, and that's the game. Well, I hope you all enjoyed that video. Please leave any comments or questions in the comment section below, and I'll see you next time.